Alright, guys, so I know these movies have been out for a bit. I know that I'm well aware that these movies have been out for a bit, but at the same time, I kind of did my own thing. I was kind of like, yeah, I do have a life outside of it, out of this. I don't know what to tell you. So, anyway, so let's get started with these reviews. So, back to back reviews of the two big things that came out this Friday, being Hellraiser and Werewolf by Night. I'm going to do individual reviews. So, we're going to start off with Hellraiser. I saw this with my girlfriend after a very long day. And for Hellraiser, it was kind of like I was already like 0-3 with the recent streaming films. Obviously, Jeepers Creepers Reborn, Hocus Pocus 2, and The Munsters were all movies I just did not enjoy in any way. Safe to say, this was a nice pickup because now, to be fair, I did have some problems with the movie. I really did have some issues with the film, and we'll get into that. But on the most part, I really did enjoy this interpretation of Hellraiser. I really did like this new reboot because it did something that I think remakes should do. In that, you give us something familiar, but at the same time do something different simultaneously. And I think that's a really good idea. I do think that's a really solid idea for remakes, but you give us something familiar but not too familiar, and also something different but not too different. This was a nice walk the line of, and I was really excited for the director of this film, in that this film was this film was done by a director who actually has got a really nice resume to them. Jerry Berkman. I pronounced that last name horribly, but he has done Netflix's original horror movie The Ritual. He did, which I really loved. I love The Ritual. He did The Night House, and he's done a lot of stuff for various segments of VHS. So he's a very solid director. He's a very up-and-coming of this new generation of horror directors. And I think he was a really good pick for this film. I think he is a really solid pick for this film. I do think that he nailed the Cenobites, which we'll talk about the Cenobites right now. So the Cenobites in here are, let's obviously get the big one out of the way, Pinhead. How was Pinhead, Jamie Clayton's Pinhead, or if you want to call her the Hell Priestess? She's great. She was actually a really great part of this. I think the voice does kind of lose me a few points towards the end, but for the most part, she is just domineering and like owns the screen time. Because like every time we were watching this movie, we were like, go back to Pinhead. These characters, and I'll get to the negatives in a moment, but whenever the Cenobites are on the film, are on screen, especially Jamie Clayton's Pinhead, she commands just the scenery of everything. And I think these interpretations of Pinhead of the Cenobites are really vastly well done. They're nice little references. Obviously, the one returning one is Chatterer. And, like, if you were to bring back anyone outside of Pinhead, it's obviously going to be Chatterer that you're going to bring with you. There are nice references to others. I think the female Cenobite, who does have a name I've forgotten, but she's a nice combination of Angelique and the original female Cenobite. I thought she was a nice interpretation of that. My personal favorite of the other Cenobites outside of Pinhead was the Weeper, which was the Cenobite that was all black and like its limbs could separate. I thought that was pretty much my favorite. There was one that was like a no-face one that looked like something out of Silent Hill. The Cenobites in here were great. There are just some gnarly kills in here. The creative team behind this is fantastic, and it's a movie so good that literally Clive Barker wants to write another Hellraiser book, or Hellbound Heart as it's originally known, with this incarnation of the Cenobites behind it. So I think that'd be really cool. And while I do miss like other ones like Butterball and a few others, I do think that this was the smart idea of doing completely new Cenobites and like I said, if you could only bring back one other Cenobite along with Pinhead, it had to be Chatterer, and I'm okay with that. I Also, like, the human villain, he is a little one-dimensional, but, like, you can understand, like, his why he's setting this up. I think it's a very Machiavellian plan that kind of blows up in his face. It's kind of fun. And also at the end, where he gets his comeuppance, all I could think was, and to think I hesitated. Yeah, Hellraiser, and I really like the inclusion of the Leviathan. I really like the inclusion of Leviathan in here, because Hellraiser 2 is actually my favorite of that. I like Hellraiser, but Hellraiser 2 is my favorite. I even get a lot of enjoyment out of Hellraiser 3, but Hellraiser 2 is my favorite of the Hellraiser movies. So the inclusion of Leviathan was really cool. I do wish, though, that they did include like those horns that you heard in the second movie, because that was like a Morse code for God. And I was like, that would have been really good. That would have been a neat little thing. Maybe I missed it in the sound design, which was actually, yeah. Also, speaking of designs, cinematography. Beautiful. This is almost like some Inception level shit we're talking about here. There's just some straight up like Inception level stuff in this movie. I do think that it does get a little weird, because like there's one scene we were watching and it was like, okay, they can get into a car, but they can't get out of this? I don't know. Maybe they just didn't explain it right. But yeah, cinematography was beautiful, and like I said, every time the Cenobites were on screen, they were great. You know what wasn't great, though? The human characters. Now, to be fair, you can make that argument for literally every Hellraiser movie, almost every Hellraiser movie past 3. You could literally make that argument for every Hellraiser argument past 3, because there hasn't been like a good human character, and they literally look. I'm just gonna say it, they all look like dime store, like Wish.com versions of other actors. Like the main actress, I had to remind myself that isn't Tatiana Maslany. That's Wish.com Tatiana Maslany. Her boyfriend looked like dime store Tom Hardy. It's Wish.com Hardy. Every actor in here looked like another, like they wanted to get an actor, but they just got, it's like that scene in Spaceballs. You idiots! You got their stunt doubles! Yeah, the human characters all suck. They really do, like, they, honest to God, outside of, like, the main human villain, Voight, even that's a lot. Like, and his plan is kind of, like, overboard, but on the most part, a lot of the human characters are just, you just want to see some gore and them just get tormented repeatedly. And, like, everyone tells this bitch, stop fucking with the box, LOL, I'm gonna fuck with the box. And it's dumb. It's really dumb, like, and she's like, I want to see, but every time she does want to see, she runs away. It's dumb. I do like the new configurations for the box, and, like, how, like, doing all configurations will let you get a, like an audience with Leviathan to be granted a wish, but it's not the wish you think. I do like that. But the human characters really do bog down this film, and I do feel like if there was at least 15 minutes in the first act shaved out, this would be a lot better. But comparatively speaking to the other 3 films I've watched on streaming this month, I think this is a really good one. This is a nice palate cleanser. Do I think that the human characters were pretty bad? Yeah, they were the major negative of this film. Like, hell, I forgot one of them was in this movie. I was like, who are you? Did you just show up? I literally forgot you were here. Oh, you're dead now. Never mind. And you were British? Was she British? Alright. So, yeah. All in all, not a bad film. I thought it was pretty entertaining. I don't think it was the level of Prey that they were Hulu was hoping for, but Prey was a very high bar. But honestly, this was a pretty good one. I think if you are a die-hard Hellraiser fan, or even like I think more so as a casual Hellraiser fan like myself, you're probably going to like this a lot more. Die-hard Hellraiser fans, I think you're going to appreciate that this is more closer to the books, and towards the just the graphic nature in here. And yeah, all in all, not a bad. It wasn't that bad. It's not that bad. It's not that bad. But anyway, so you guys tell me in the comments below, what did you guys think of Hellraiser? Did you guys like it, hate it? Just comment below, let me know. Other than that, hope you all enjoyed this. I'm Mr. Multiverse. I'll see you next time in the multiverse.